So, here we are, map number 1 of a best of 3. And spawning down in the bottom right hand position as the red Zerg player, representing Team Liquid, none other than Snute. And his opponent, to the north, the blue Protoss, from XMG, it's ToD. Now, being the finals, as I mentioned in the pre-game lobby, it is for €75. It is for a spot in the monthly finals, and it is without doubt going to be highly intense. I don't know which way it will go at this stage, because these two, I'd say, are pretty evenly matched in terms of skill, in terms of caliber, in terms of diversity, and just the depth of build that they can go for. Whether or not, though, one of them throws out something a bit special, we'll have to wait and see. We saw, of course, last series with ToD going for that proxy 2 gate in Grubby's base, that he isn't afraid to throw out something a little bit ballsy. Whether or not, though, he can continue that trend, whether or not Snute would scout something like that, we'll have to wait and see. For the moment, Snute seems to be opening relatively normal, spawning pool first. It is a 2-player spawn map, and it's always going to be a little bit cautious to make sure that you don't get caught off guard. Polar Night isn't the greatest map either going for Hatch Pool, because your third is a long way away and there's 2 entrances to it, and yeah, it's just a bit nasty. But yeah, I'd say this is pretty good at the moment. Seems like a little bit of lag coming through there, not quite sure where that is coming from, but hopefully not too much else will be on its way. Otherwise, Gateway coming through. Of course, Nexus on its way down. We've got the Overlord just coming to check. This Overlord's going to be keeping a good little bit of information about whether it's a gateway expand or anything like that. And this is one of the reasons why you see the gateway come down the back, is because it adds a little question mark to what Snute's got. It's not part of the wall off, it's a long way back, and that means Snute has to commit this Overlord a long way forward to get the scouting information. So all it's going to say is a chrono boost coming down on the Nexus. That still doesn't reveal anything. Going to be quickly checking to see whether there's any gases or anything like that coming down, and that's of course very important to see. But there's the gateway, there's the confirmation that this isn't something too crazy as of yet. Back at home for Snute, he's getting up his natural base, got a gas on its way, and he's going to be feeling a lot more confident now that he's identified that, yep, that is a gateway, and I'm not dying. Of course, Nexus coming down for ToD as well. Some of the things these two could be going for, of course, from Snute's side, he's got things like Roach Hydra, Ling Hydra. Could also go in for some kind of, say, Swarm Host play. But Snute, I would suspect, is going to be going out Swarm Hosts at least once in this series, because from everything I've seen of him, he is quite the fan of Swarm Hosts up against Protoss, as many Zerg players are at the moment. ToD has shown that he can deal with that, though, so it is going to be quite interesting to see exactly what comes down. Injects, obviously on their way through. We've got the gas coming nicely, about to hit 100 gas for Snute, which means Zergling speed will get started up. And he should keep the drones trickling through there, just so he's got his lair on its way through as well. Meanwhile, over at ToD's base, 2 more gateways being added on. And this is where it's decision time. Will it be a 4th gate? Yes, it will. So, a 4th gate with only 1 gas equals what? Zealots. It's going to be a big wave of Zealots warp-ins. But luckily for Snute, he's actually got a fairly good eye on this. He knows the 2nd gas hasn't been taken, and therefore there's going to be a big Zealot warp-in. So boom, down goes the Roach Warren, and Snute really on mark to be able to defend this and put up a strong position. So all that really remains now for Snute is to try and identify where the proxy pylon is going to go down. The probe currently just chilling around here. The Overlord not going to be able to see it, so that's pretty much safe. ToD, on the other hand, he's going to be being very much the aggressor. He's keeping a good solid check on whether or not there's a 3rd. And for the moment he hasn't seen one, so without a 3rd base, I'll be interested to see whether or not ToD opts to warp in as many Zealots as you would if you saw a 3rd. Because if you see a 3rd, the Zealots are there to force a cancel on it, or take it out, if nothing else. But without seeing that 3rd, you have to go, where are those resources? They're probably in some roaches. But with 10 Zealots following this up, even if ToD doesn't go for some big warp-ins, the counter push could be huge. That's a huge amount of DPS. These gateways and these sentries can only hold for so long, and it could be very problematic, especially if we were to see ToD warp in even just 1 wave of Zealots. The proxy pylon has of course been seen. ToD doesn't know that it's been scouted, but that's going to get taken down fairly quick. Decent number of Lings being revealed. Drone coming over, just going to attempt to take a 3rd base. Should be successful in doing so, since the Roaches are here to defend as well. But ToD will now have his 1 lone Zealot on the map pushed away. The proxy pylon up there hasn't yet been spotted. A couple of Zealots were warped in, but they're not going to be able to be too aggravating as of yet. Snute only using 125 resources, but continuing forward and starting up his lair behind this. Meanwhile, if we take a quick little peek at what ToD's doing, he's doing the normal thing, which, following up this push with some kind of immortal sentry wall in. He's also adding in a pylon to complete this wall off, and that's a smart move because he knows there's a lot of units on the map, and that's really what's coming and hitting through now. Emergency defenses, trying to complete this wall, buying some more time, while he warps in some Zealots with so many Lings here, able to take down those Zealots exceptionally quickly. The Mothership Core working away at the hatchery, but that will take an eternity to kill. One Roach managed to make it through, and that means that actually the sentry's taking a lot of damage. A few Lings go through as well. ToD in some trouble now. A lot of probes are getting taken down. Warpins streaming through. The force fields are alright, but the Immortal not yet out on the field. This means that the Roach is just able to keep plowing through the damage. Another force field went down from that sentry that was warped through fast. But as the Immortal pops, the Roaches are just going to jump straight onto it. The Zerglings are there. ToD leaves the game knowing that he's not going to be able to hold that. And boom, Snute wins map number 1 and takes an early lead in this best of 3 series.